That's right, SOS Radio 95 years, 10 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour. It's Monday. Welcome to Talking Point for today. And of course, we had the president this morning. We do that every morning, Mondays, 8 o'clock. Good morning, Mr. President. Now it's Talking Point time. I guess no stranger to SOS Radio for sure, no stranger to you. He's been here before. Good morning, sir. Put your mic on.
Good.
Just push the button.
Good morning, Billy D, and thanks for having me back again.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, man.
You know, whenever I see your name, I smile, you know. Granny.
Gramey.
Gramey. And I would have never believed you're Gramey. I knew you as Calvin. And this is going back to the ECC days.
Yes.
How have you been?
90s. I've been good. I've been writing, I've been relaxing, I've been thinking, I've been, researching. And from the last one I was here in February, and I've written 2 books since then. I've written my first fiction named Gabriel.
Yeah. That was the first book?
No, the first one was Learning the Business of Life.
Okay,
That was the one we launched in February. July 4th, I launched Gabriel, which is a fiction book. It's about a police officer, police investigator, who's also a priest.
Yeah.
And that book, most of the scenes in the book takes place in Barcelona, Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And then
how did you get to Barcelona, Spain? How did you told me that? I mean, it's a fiction book.
Yeah, it's a fiction book.
How did you get to Barcelona?
We were there on a family vacation in, I think it was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
We did Madrid for like 10 days, and then we did Barcelona for 10 days. And I fell in love with Barcelona.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, the main character is part of my alter ego growing up. And so I love the place so much, I placed the entire content.
You turned the movie.
Yeah.
You turned the movie there.
Yeah.
But what hit you in Barcelona that you love Barcelona so much?
Just the architecture. I guess it has some of that old time structure like Statia, and I grew up on Statia. So you got the old Dutch church, you got the fort, you got you got all the hills, you got the parks, you got it's nature. It's like a small nature historical island within a metropolitan modern city.
Correct.
And that creates that contrasting beauty and inspiration.
So you wrote Gabriel based on Barcelona.
Based on being there, right? So even though I had the character and I had the idea and everything from growing up, that was like the perfect place to set everything.
Yeah. How did that book do?
I didn't do a lot of marketing on it because when it comes to fiction books, the moment you start to talk, you're giving away the whole plot.
Yeah.
So I didn't do too much of broadcasting on it, like going out and doing interviews and stuff like that. It's not doing as well as the first book because it's going to be a slower build. Plus, it's 350 pages. Yeah. It's not, so it's a reader's book. So if you love fiction, you love to read, this is the book for you. It's
in a nutshell, what would that book be about? A police officer?
Okay, so it's a police investigator who's also a priest. So he's working on the cover for the most part of it, and they go after all the criminals. And they mostly take the small fish, and the big ones, they always slip away because they mostly have political connection, corporate connections.
Correct.
Yeah. And so while they got rid of all the small fish and they're going after the big fish, arrest warrant came in for him out of Turkey, say that he committed a crime. He killed 5 people in Turkey. It's like, what? I've never even been to Turkey. How could I have killed 5 people in Turkey? Yeah. And then so they want him to be extradited to Turkey so he could stand trial, and they're the story.
And he's a police and a priest.
And he's a police and a priest, but he is a secret police. He's not part of he don't walk around with a badge and a gun and arrest people. He's an investigator. So he's the guy that stays low, watch everything that's going on, report to the higher up. The arrest teams come in, do what they got to do, and so no one knows that except for his team knows that he's an investigator. So it's like, okay, maybe these big fish, now that we're going after them, maybe they know something about me, maybe they know something about the team. Nobody knows what's happening, but how could they want me arrested for committing a crime in a country I've never been in?
Yeah. That's a lot of fiction, though. That's really put in fiction.
Yeah.
So you wrote that book.
Yeah.
And what else you wrote?
So, and then I wrote my latest book, which is called Dating Advice to My Daughter. which is gonna show them there, and it's a very hot topic. And I have a
now
daughter.
dating advance to your daughter. You're talking your daughter. You're talking daughters.
Daughters.
Okay.
Daughters, but I say my daughter because I'm authorized and qualified to talk to my daughter.
Correct.
Right? I can't go and talk to your daughter.
Yeah.
You know, something you have to do.
So the book is based on the advice to your daughter.
To my
that would
daughter.
expand generally.
Exactly. So it's a father giving advice to his daughter, and not just some guy talking about what he wants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what I want for my daughter. These are the conversations I have with my daughter.
Yeah, I didn't get. I got a book, but I didn't get hands to time yet to go through the book. But I could imagine dating advice to my daughter. I want to ask you though: is your daughter a certain age?
Yes, she is a
Because
dating
I'm trying
age.
to imagine the book.
Yeah. She is at dating age, and we've
Dating
had
age is what age according to you?
for me from basically 16 and over. Right,
It's dating
where
age.
It's dating age.
But that's you in general, or that's in the book?
It's in the book. I don't put a specific age of when you do what.
Yeah.
But basically, I say boys and girls should basically be constantly around each other. Whether you're just going to the movies, you're going to the mall, you're going to the park, you're hanging out. Girls have to start becoming very good friends and being around boys, right? Because those boys are going to be the grown men of the dating pool that you're going to be dating from. So you have to start being around them and then having that communication, that cooperation, that hanging out, that fun before you start getting the emotional attachment where you say, that's my boyfriend or we are dating. And you know, the word dating now means something else than, you know, when you say, let's go out on a date. We're just going out on a date, right? But now when you say the word date, it means something else.
Yeah.
And so we have to say, listen, you got to be friends, you got to hang out with boys. Boys have to hang out with girls. So you could see that foundational behavior of how a boy behaves when he's just with you, when he's with other boys, when he's in a crowd. And so you start understanding when he become a man, that male behavior, you followed it, you understand it, and you're not just upset because it's not what you think it should be.
Yeah.
But it is what you have seen it progress to from a boy to a man.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you said you're dating age 16. In this part of the world, Caribbean, we always look at dating age from, let's say, 18.
I think the dating age is conflicted with probably sexual consent.
Yeah.
Because you may say, well, I don't want my daughter having sex before 18. But dating is not sex.
Yeah.
It's two separate things. Dating is being around, you're hanging out.
Well, years ago, dating was dating. Today, dating is sex. So we need to be careful.
Right. And so I rather than say talking about the modern dating scene, because I have a part where I say what the first 5 dates, my version or my envisioning of the first 5 dates, what they are.
Yeah.
And by date number 3, I said by date after your first 2, by the 3rd date, if you don't want to be intimate with this person, or you don't have an attraction, a physical, sexual attraction to this person, you need to let them know before you go on date number 3, hey, let's be friends. Because men expect by date number 3, basically we're either going to hold hands, we're going to kiss, and
in dating number 3, something will happen.
In today's world, exactly, men expect something to happen. So I'm saying a person basically get 2 dates. In 2 days, you need to figure out whether or not you want to move forward or not.
Is there a space, and I'm trying to go through the book here, and we're going to talk about the book itself. Is there a space and time for dates? Because if let's say you went out this Sunday, you go out next Sunday, you go out. So is there a space and time?
No, there's no specific. So let's say, okay, so if you start...
We refer back on to your book. Yeah.
Right, we refer to the book. So boy meet girl, somebody says hello, the other one says hi, you strike up a little conversation. Guys, for the most part, initiates dating, right? So that initiation come with, and it's based on physical, sexual, or intellectual attraction. Because if I'm not attracted to you in any way, I'm not going to actually go out. There's nothing happening. For the female part, she's going to go, one, if she feels the same way, or she's curious, right? So then you get your first the first date happens. After the first date happens, you basically, it's an introduction, talk about yourself, and after that you have phone numbers exchanged, maybe you're texting, maybe you're talking, maybe you're not. There's no time frame as to where date number 2 goes. But if both parties are interesting, date number 2 happens.
Right on the corner.
Yeah. Whether it's a week and a half, 10 days, 3 days, you know what I mean? Once the 2 people connect, it's a wrap, right? The problem is, if you're still feeling out, so you finish date number 1, now you have date number 2, right? Because maybe the guy talked too much. I used to have a problem with that. I always talk a lot. I tell you exactly who I am, what I'm about, what I want, what my outlook is, da-da-da. Most females could be, more the listener on date number 1. But on date number 2, if we get there, for me, it's an interrogation because I did all the talking that I said, now I want to know everything that I'm interested in knowing about you. So now I'm asking you a question, this, that. By date number 2, I know exactly if I want to move forward with the next date or I don't. Because even though I had the physical and intellectual attraction to you, the conversation could have said, boy, this girl ain't for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now I know more beyond the first look of you.
Yeah, and this is what the book is actually teaching or talking about.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Very practical. It's very
Is it personal
balanced.
though? Is it personal or is it?
A lot of it is personal. Again,
Because this is the way you would have done it.
Exactly. It's in a combination of what I've done before. I've been married now with my wife for 27 years. We just celebrated 23 years married. So I've been out of the dating scene forever. But when I look at it and I look at what's going on now.
Once you're married, there's no more dating.
No.
In terms of dating your wife.
Right, exactly.
So, but because I have heard people say, I date my wife.
Yeah, I date my wife. We have date nights. I plan it. I'll text her. Hey, let's go on a date next week. Yeah, exactly.
The purpose of your book, I call you Calvin instead of Gramey. What's the purpose of the book?
Because what's happened with the modern dating scene, I have a lot of female friends, right? And I have a lot of male friends. And when we talk, there seems to be now a disconnect between male and females. And it's a combination of plenty of things, but plenty of females, especially the ones that are educated, have a good job, career, they're saying, where are the men? There was a time, maybe 10, 15 years ago, they were saying, where are the good men? Now they're just saying, where are the men? Because they can't find them, they're single, and they're saying, but I have so much about me. I'm good looking, I got my natural hair, I don't wear a lot of makeup, I have a good job, I have good income, I got my own apartment, I got my own house, but I can't get a man. Why is that? And I explain a lot of the fundamentals thing about men, right? And part of it is modern women. And these are the women that they went to college, they have a career, they're career driven, they have good jobs, they're independent.
Independent, yeah.
Right?
They don't rely on a man.
They don't, right. So it goes back to, I would say the latter end of Generation X, which is basically our generations, where the parents told the girls, listen, go out there, go get your education, get your career, so you don't need to depend on a man.
Yeah.
And this was taken out of context to where the sense is, okay, if I can support myself financially, I don't need a man. Okay, fine. But then where do you get companionship? How do you share your life with someone? How do you build with someone else? How do you start a family? You need a man for that, right? And if you don't have one, plenty of them, that I talk to, is between the age range of like 37 and 42. And when women, we go through our middle age crisis at 50, 55. Most women tend to do that around between 38, 40, right? Where they panic. They either don't have no kids, now there is a timeline. Oh man, I want a child. I mean, I need to move fast.
Correct.
Right? But the thing is, men is the one that initiates relationship and not them. Except for those who are bold enough to step up to a guy and really be the guy and say, hey, I'm attracted to you. Let's go out, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, they don't.
Yeah.
So now you're waiting. There's no one approaching you. And if someone approaches you, how do you... They don't even know how to deal with a man, right? Because they have not done it. They have not practiced it.
Yeah.
They prioritize... Right. They prioritize career over family.
Yeah.
And then they reach to the point where, like, no, I want a family. I want a husband. I want a man. And they don't even understand how it works. And so they have a theory in their head, but in reality, you know,
Correct.
that doesn't.
Because at 40, 42, you're way behind that.
You're way behind. From the moment the woman passed 30, there is a clock, and she has to basically start prioritizing family if she wants one.
Yeah.
Right? Your 20s is your prime for a female. For us, in our 20s, we're doing a bunch of nonsense. You know what I mean? We're exploring. But for males, once we start to hit that 30, then we start to get serious about family. We're not just thinking about ourselves anymore. We're thinking about family. But in our 20s, we're goofing around. Most of us. In my 20s, I was a workaholic. Period. And so you see some guys, the moment they leave college, they're working on building themselves up because they understand that in this world, you have to be built. Whatever female you're attracted to, whatever type you're attracted to,
they want to know the background.
Yeah.
They want to know how you're built.
Yeah. And if you're not there, they're not interested in you. We're taught that, we know that, we understand that. Because we're supposed to lead, provide, protect. So we build ourselves to that. The female just have to be a female. Because we're coming to her. She doesn't have to do anything. She doesn't have to be educated. She doesn't need to have two master's degrees. She doesn't have to have a good job. She doesn't have to have any of that. But we do.
Well, you said the guy with the money take care of the woman, the woman with the money take care of herself.
Exactly. It's what's yours is yours and what's mine is ours, right? Yeah. And what the modern female doesn't understand that she has built herself to become basically what a man is building himself to become. Yeah. Once he gets there and you're there, well, he's not looking for you. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for him because most women want a man that is equal to them or higher. Yeah. That's not what men want. You know what I mean? We're not looking for our equal. And then when the woman, if the woman has a more higher socioeconomic income, whether it's income, prestige, or whatever, or career, she's not looking for a man below her. She still wants someone that is equal to her or higher.
Correct.
Guys are never looking for equal or higher.
Never.
That's what we want. We want a wife. We want a female. We want someone who's nurturing and kind and loving and mature and emotionally mature, emotionally available to us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We are not looking for some career woman. So when you build yourself so high, it's kind of like you go look for a job, you get an interview and they tell you you're overqualified. Yeah. And what that means is that we don't want to hire you because you're not going to stay here. Our standard is too low. You're going to stay because you need us now, but the moment a new opportunity comes out, you're gone.
Yeah. Is dating still a priority? Now, the name of your book is Dating Advice to My Daughter. Yes. Is dating still a priority? Is dating still a good thing? Do people still do date?
Yes, you need to date because that's how you start exploring the other person. You have to get to know someone.
Now, we know that many years ago, Calvin, many years ago, it had to have dating.
It was called courting.
Courting,
right.
Yeah.
Because you walk, you hold hands. There was not, you didn't have all that emotional pressure, societal pressure. They see you one time, they say, oh, they must be friends. The second time, oh, something going on. The third time, no, they're doing it. Yeah. That wasn't a thing. It is a thing now. You can't be seen with someone three times.
Yeah, no, you can't be seen with someone once. You can't be seen with someone once.
Yeah, you know? So nowadays, how do you get to know someone, right? And then there is so much decision making after without knowing the other person, right? Because so I say in the book, the best time to date is high school. You come out of high school, college. That's where you want to try to find, because it's the only place where you have so many males and so many females with not anything else to really do but go to school and be around each other. Once you come out in the real world, we work at jobs. So you're working 8 hours a day. You have to prepare an hour, hour and a half, depending on where you live. You have to prepare hour, hour and a half. So, and that's hour and a half before you go. You have to wake up, shower, dress, do all that kind of stuff, drive to work. Then you got an hour and a half to come back. You just added 3 hours to that 8 hours. You're gonna sleep for 8 hours, that's 19 hours. There's only 5 hours left in the day. How do you get to know someone with only 5 hours a day?
Yeah.
It don't work. So dating is where you get to sit down comfortably and have real human conversation. Not like on an app where you're just saying, hi, hello, boy, you look good. How old that picture? No, let's just go out and do it the human way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, basically they say in high school, in school generally,
in school,
college, university, those are the places where you meet more of the opposite.
Yes, and groups, you know, whether you're in social groups, and that's where people are really social. They're being themselves.
Yeah.
You're not meeting the representative.
Your book is dating advice. Is there any advice on who to date? What attracts to create that date?
So I talk about the male evaluation system, and I know females don't like to know that they are graded or they are looked at on a scale from 1 to 10. The reality is they look at men on a scale from 1 to 10 as well. You know, some women like a tall guy, someone like a short guy, some women want a stocky guy, a guy with a six-pack, a guy with a bald head, a guy with long hair. So all of that comes into play for us too. When we look at the female, we're evaluating them just like that. Is she short? Is she thick? Is she skinny? Is she slim? Is she in between? Is she like an athlete? Does she like sports? And based on that, every individual has their personal preference as to what attracts them. So you have physical attraction, you have sexual attraction, you have emotional attraction. You could interact with a waitress and being attracted just the way she speaks and carries herself and serve. And that could be that attraction where you want her phone number, right? Or it could be you walking on the road and you see this girl there, she talking to somebody, and you're like, boy, she look good, oh my God. And then that becomes that physical attraction.
But not necessarily the physical attraction, not necessarily the emotional attraction.
No, it's what creates the initialization to say hi.
Right. Yeah, to say hi.
Because until someone says hi and the other one says hello, there's nothing happening.
That's
it's eye candy only on both sides.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then you talk about the soft skills. The soft skills is how do we interact as human beings? Hi, how are you? How you doing? That simple tone, some women, because maybe the guy is not their type physically, or they expected something else. The moment he say hi, they look away, they ignore him, they turn the other way, and it goes away. Women don't approach men that often, but when they do, that's not a behavior that men have. Any feminine approach to us is welcome. It doesn't work the other way around.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So females has to be careful, and I think what they have done, because I've had some girls tell me men don't even approach them no more. And these are, I would say, average, above average looking.
Yeah, but
females.
then there's a breakdown in that communication where females just believe that once you say hi, you want something else.
Exactly.
So they don't really respond.
They don't respond, and they have done that so much and so long.
Yeah.
Guys are adaptive, right? We have adapted to say, boy, if I say something to she gonna turn her head, skin up her face, especially if she with a friend, she gonna embarrass me. And I remember growing up, 16, 17, 18, women don't understand how much courage it takes for a guy to approach. I mean, we run that cycle, that scene through our mind so many times before we actually got the courage to step over and say, hi,
I like you.
I like you. My name is. And they take it for
I
granted.
know the book is in like I said, the name of the book is interesting because there got to be something that sparked so you could get a date.
Yes,
There got to
yes.
be a hi, there got to be a hello,
Hello,
there got to
yeah.
be a how you, there got to
And
be.
then they say in the book, it could be because once you get out of college and you get out of school, then there is only certain opportunities anymore.
Well, you're going to meet a whole different set of people.
And you meet a whole different
You're
set.
not going to meet you're not going to meet the school girl. And then you actually said, well, I wonder where that girl that I used to see in school, where she gone?
Yeah. She disappeared because you all go in different directions. Because
Now,
the real world begins now.
Yeah. In your dating advice, do you advise a man, for example, if you want to have a date, you got to say it, you got to speak.
Yes, so I said in the male evaluation, I have a chapter called the male evaluation. Once a guy evaluates a woman and he says, you know what, so we have like, let's say if a woman is a 5, she's an average, right? Which, it's just the average girl.
Yeah.
And then you have a 4. A female who's a 4 or 3 will still get males, a lot of males attracted to her.
Yeah.
Males who are 3 and 4s has a lot less attention towards them.
Yeah.
But females no, because the majority of females are average. Then you have the 6 above average, the 7 really attractive, the 8, 9s and 10s, well, those are the top of the top. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous, right?
Well, they're gorgeous on the looks.
On the looks, right.
Because it's when you speak to them,
exactly.
then you realize she's gorgeous, but she's a dummy.
Right.
Yeah. And then that's it.
And it's based on that evaluation that males make a move.
Yeah.
And if you're a 7, 8, 9, and that's not based on what you think, it's based on what he thinks.
Yeah.
Because what you think is an 8, 9, and 10, I may think is a
5 or
6.
Yeah.
You understand? So if he thinks you're up there for his liking, he's going to approach.
But the guy in himself, though, has to have some type of credibility within himself to know what's the numbers that you're throwing.
It's those numbers for
because
him.
if the guy's just looking at this girl, she got a pretty body, that's it. He don't see nothing else.
He doesn't see anything else.
But if he's looking for a future, if he's looking for a companion, then he really got to start on the numbers.
Right, and then once you have that number, because that's all you, it's like judging the book by the cover.
Yeah.
That's all you got until you actually pick up the book, turn it around, and says, "Oh, this is what the book is about."
Yeah.
But it starts with looking at the cover of the book.
Yeah.
So females,
that's it, doctor.
No,
Okay.
She didn't want to be on the book, so I had to use someone else. But so until that initiation, that initial contact comes, right? He's looking at you based on his own evaluation system and saying, okay, I'm attracted to her, I'm interested in her, let me go over and say hello. Yeah. Or maybe you're walking down the aisle of a supermarket because you're no longer in college, you're no longer in school, you're not in a club. Where do you meet someone? Yeah. You meet them in the supermarket, you meet them in church, you meet them in a farmer's market, you bump into them in a concert, a live event, whatever.
Is your book, though, on a dating advice for life, or just a dating that could say, hey, okay, I tried it, it didn't work? Are all the options in the book?
All the options. I have 5 different reasons why people date, according to basically what I've seen and know around the world, right? So you have dating for companionship. You find that a lot with the older people. In their 50s, 60s, it's companionship, convenience, right? You have dating to advance your career, where some women date their boss or, their supervisor, the director of a company, or even if they don't work in the same company, they're dating someone who is in a corporate.
Why would that dating be though? You're dating
because
your boss.
they're dating to advance their own career.
Well, in what sense?
To
get the boss attention, just to get a promotion.
Well, it could be just.
But
just
in
to get
that
a promotion.
case, though, there's nothing about love in that, though.
Love is something that people grow to each other, right? There's some people who fall in love with love
for
at first sight.
promotion, then that's a whole different thing.
Well, you're dating for career advancement,
yeah.
Right? So maybe that promotion in this job, right, gets you then to 2 or 3 other jobs outside of the company. Mm-hmm. But until you get a supervisor title, you can't go apply for a higher title for a next place. So there's dating for career advancements. There is dating for meaningful long-term relationships, right? Where you're all going to move in together, you're going to start to build a life together. There is dating to be a husband or wife. You're dating with intention to marry someone, that is a different type of dating than just casual dating. And then there were those that are dating just for intimacy. They're dating just because they want to, and it's for male or females.
Yeah.
You're dating just to call, so-called, what they call on the internet, smash.
Yeah.
Right?
But is dating important, according to your book? Is dating important?
Dating in the sense of going out and mingling with the opposite sex, yes, because that's how humans are built. That's how we work. That's how we function, right? If a female can't get someone to date, a male to date, to go out with, to interact with, what does she have? How is she going to get a husband? How is she going to have a family? How is she going to do anything? If a guy can't attract any female whatsoever, what does he do?
And could dating take long? Could it take what it takes to get there, or does it have a cutoff period?
It depends on the goal. So if you're dating for, again, it depends on what the individual goal is. If you're dating for intimacy, you could hook up with someone in 24 hours. You could, you guys could hook up after the first date. One night stand, weekend, hang out, whatever. If you're dating for marriage, most of the guys who are doing that are on the upper echelon. They're in the 35 range or older, or they're really into the church, and they want they're dating to find someone to be their wife, and they will tend to basically date with more urgency. They're gonna meet a girl, they connect in 3 months, within 6 months there's an engagement, a year and a half, they engage, they're gonna get married. And then there were those who they're together for 10 years. And there's no engagement ring. They got 2 kids. Well, what intention were they dating with? What is the intention about their life? Is the female?
Well, there are people maybe who just want to date but not get married.
Exactly. So the dating, you have to know, and I say in the book, you have to know the purpose of what you're dating for.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, then anything goes.
Yes.
And then you can't complain and say, well, he didn't engage me, or he didn't offer to marry me. Well, did you require it?
Yeah.
Did you talk about it? Did you demand it? Did you make it part of being with him?
But I have one policy: to get a date, you gotta talk.
Exactly. It starts with a conversation.
Whether the female opposes or she does not. To get a date, I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, you gotta talk.
You gotta say what you gotta say.
And then that's the thing with me. I mean, when I was dating back in the day, sometime after date number 1, I didn't get a lot of second dates with the same girl, because it was like, you talk too much. And I'm like, well, on date number 2, yes, I know I talk a lot, but at date number 2, I gonna get you to talk. But it's be like an interrogation, because most females don't really volunteer.
But should a man talk a lot on the first date, or should the female talk a lot on the first date?
It's supposed to be conversations, right? But some personalities are more dominant than the other. But each person is supposed to express what it is they're looking for, what their desire is. Because
on your first date, though, you're not bringing that person on. It's just a conversation.
It's just
a drink.
Yeah,
it's a conversation. It's just a dinner.
And I actually say the first date should begin and end before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So that way, there's no lot of nervous tics. There's no, it's late night. I mean, some people say, hey, let me pick you up and take you out. I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't advise any female to have a guy, especially a stranger to her, someone she doesn't actually know, to pick her up in the evening to go out on the first date, period. I say, have the date start and end before the sun goes down. Now, if it's someone from work, you're going to date at work, you're going to date maybe a social club, so you know this person, but it's still at your discretion.
Yeah.
But you want to have it casual and comfortable, so that you can express without pressure. There's no emotional attachment as yet, so you're free to talk, right? Once you get emotionally involved, then people get offended a lot easier, because it's like, yeah, but you said it, but you disrespect me. That was disrespectful. That was this. That was that. The first date is the most important conversation for you to feel each other out.
Not only the first date, the first 10 minutes of talking.
Yeah, exactly.
The first 10 minutes of talking tells you everything.
Exactly. And females need to basically, it's kind of like a job interview. right? And I say females a lot because the pressure is mostly on females because they're the one complaining that they can't find husbands, men, meaningful relationship. Men are not complaining about it, right? So if you have to treat a date like a job interview, you are being interviewed by him, and you also have to interview him to be with you. It's an exchange. You have to do that. You have to consider that. Otherwise, you're going out with someone that you're not learning. You're not asking questions to see who.
One of the big problem with dating is people. A woman will date you on your looks, not on your character, not on your content.
Yeah.
They will just date you on your looks, not knowing that could be the opportunity of their life.
And I talk about the flashy boys and the bad boys, the sweet talkers. I think the chapter is called Playboys and Bad Boys. Let me see what it's called.
Just show the people the book a little bit so we could see. Not a cover.
This is about dating advice.
Dating advice to my daughter, timeless wisdom, and
on navigating modern relationship. The majority of females want that old time guy. They want a man that will basically take care. He will lead, provide, protect. And even when the female has been successful, she's have a career, she's so-called independent, she's still looking for that man who will lead, provide, protect.
Correct.
What she doesn't realize is when she already lead and provides herself and is successful and is independent, and the guy looks at her and have a conversation with her, and she said, yeah, I got my own house, I got my car, I pay for everything myself. The guy asks himself, what am I going to do with this woman? I can't do anything for her. And that's
she's already doing everything.
She's already doing everything for herself. And men need purpose. That's why we fight wars in the name of God, queen, country, religion, whatever. And we die for it because it's a purpose. We need purpose. If we're coming in with you and you're already doing two of the main three things that we're supposed to do, protection, well, you could call 911. You don't need us. We don't have to be there. Because any female that is in a problem in public of any way.
But that is said a lot too on boasting, and that is said on intimidating the other person. I do everything for myself. So if you do everything for yourself, then
why do you need me?
Why are we here?
Yeah, exactly. I have no purpose for you. And again, if women don't understand that men's need, desire, it's for purpose, then you just eliminated our purpose. Yeah. We walk away. Yeah. We lose interest because
this is going to be an interesting book, man. I'm going to read it. It's going to be an interesting book. It looks like you did some research on it too. Where is this book available?
This book is available at the Video Block in French Quarter by Brian, and he delivers also. So you hit him up and he will deliver the book for you. It's available at Van Dorp in Simpson Bay and 80 Village Road, Adolphus Richardson in Phillipsburg, Family Bookstore in Phillipsburg, Anya Bookstore in Cul-de-sac. Am I missing one?
Around the world, is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon.com. Just look up Gramey, Gramey, and you'll see all three books that I have there. And it's also available on my website, GrameyBrowne.com. Yeah. And you can find it.
And the name is Browne, eh? The name is
Browne with the E. B-R-O-W-N-E.
You know, we just had an accident with a young man that passed away. That's your cousin?
No. Yeah. It's a funny story. I have a last name that doesn't belong to me, so I'm not related to any Browns.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I saw the name and I know that. Well, this is a big name in St. Martin for sure.
Yeah. And then there is a Browne with the E and the Browne without the E.
Yeah, without the E, but you're the one with the E.
I'm the one with the E.
Yeah. And the book is available now?
The book is available right now. I'm going to be doing an official launching of the book at Spices of India in Maho this Friday at 6:30. I'll be there. I'll be able to ask questions. So females, males want to come by. You want to ask me questions.
That's this Friday.
This Friday, and then this Saturday I'll be at Pineapple Pete at 6:30 doing the same thing. And again, the book has.
And the book will be on sale too.
And the book will be on sale. I'll be signing books. The book is $19.95. I'll try to bring a bunch of 5 cents. If not, I'll keep the change. For $20, you get the book, and it's a book that has a very much a lot of balanced information in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't bash males or females. It just highlights this is what each side does, this is what each side desire, this is what we're looking for, this is what we want, and this is what these things mean to each other.
Dating in the Caribbean, have you separate dating in the Caribbean for dating in mainland US, and the way things are done differently? Because what we call dating, they could call something else.
Yes.
Because dating, you know, and like you said, if you're seen with somebody having lunch, oh, that's it. They're together.
Yeah,
that's just a lunch.
Right, that's just a lunch. So within the Caribbean, we in the Caribbean have basically adapted plenty of the first world country problems. Because if you go outside of the US, the EU, and most of the Caribbean, the other cultures doesn't have a problem where males and females are not connecting. Yeah. This is a natural thing, right? But we in the first world country have adapted this, if I'm educated, I need this or I need that. They don't say, hey, I'm a female, I'm a male, I'm going to want a family at some point. Let me start connecting with the opposite sex so that I could accomplish those goals. And plenty of our females nowadays prioritize career over family. And I talk about that in a chapter called the Catch-22.
Well, you could do career over family up to a certain age, knowing that you want a family, and then you say, at this age, I'm finished my education, I'm going to do this.
Which is mostly for the female around 30, where everything you have to start to expedite. Males, we could do career all the way 40, even 50, and start a family after that. And what females don't realize is when we do that, men 40, 50, they're looking for women younger, right? A guy in his 50s is not looking for a 40-year-old to start a family with. He's looking for a 30-something-year-old because she's not going to have no pregnancy issues. She's not on the almost where she can, it's not safe, right? You know what I mean? Because females have a clock on them. It's a biological clock where males don't have. So we can start a family at any time. They can't. So they want to prioritize families so they can get it and have it, and also get the man that wants to be with them. Once you start approaching 40, you pass 35.
Yeah, you're over.
It's not impossible, but men of value is not looking at you to start a family with.
Yeah.
And so many of the girls I talk to are over 35. Most of them don't have kids, and they're running into that problem because men now, and then they want a man that's equal to them or higher. Those men are not looking to start a family with a 35-year-old.
Why didn't you name the book just Dating Advice and not To My Daughter?
To My Daughter means this is a father talking to his daughter. I'm not gonna, again, guys, I've spoken to guys and we have our guy conversation and we say all kinds of stuff, right? Do I want to tell my daughter those things? No, right? So I'm saying in the book exactly what and I have conversations in the book that me and my daughter actually had, where I say to her, listen, I told her one time, when a guy want to take you out, he's not taking you out to be your friend, right? This is not what guys do. You have to assume there is a sexual, something emotional, there is a physical attraction or sexual attraction, emotional attraction. You have to assume that. But after date number 2, if you don't want to move forward, you need to let him know. Don't go on date number 3 until you say, hey, listen, I just want to be your friend. Yeah. And a guy will tell you, I don't want to be friends. And that's the end of it. But you don't go and string along. Some women go along 5, 6, 7 dates for the free food. You know? And I say in the book, whoever initialized the first date pays for it. But I said to her, walk with enough. Whichever restaurant that he tells you he's going to take you, go online, see what the menu actually is, see what it is you're most likely to order, and walk with enough money to pay for it. Right?
Just in case.
Just in case. And also have a ride. Drive yourself to it. If you don't have a car, you take an Uber. Make sure you have enough money for transportation to and from. Because if you don't already know this person and you are curious, because yes, there is some attraction from your side, and you get there, you don't know how this guy is going to act. You don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared. And I said, if you know within the first date, man, I don't want to go out with this guy again, insist on paying for your half of the meal. So you pay for your own meal. So you reduce any animosity or resentment that he could build.
I pay for you, and now,
No, you don't even want to talk to me no more. No. No, you know what I mean? Some people would say, even if he invites you or you invite him, be prepared to pay for your meal. The first date, each person should pay for themselves. Hey, listen, if a guy, I'm old school. If I ask you out, I'm asking you out and I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I say whoever initiates the date should pay. However,
the guy got to walk with enough money too in case she says she want lobster. And then you say, I can't pay for lobster. Then that ain't so good for you either.
Well, don't take up to a place that serves lobster. You know what I mean? You should, as the guy, you have to take her out to a place. You better check that menu also.
You know, the first thing you gotta ask, do you like pizza? Do you like pizza?
Burgers. You got burgers and pizza and soups. You know, those are, you know.
No, because some women will tell you, if you're gonna take me out, you better take me out lobster place.
Yeah.
I want seafood.
And it's up to you.
It's up to you, but
right.
Most women will say, I love seafood.
Yeah. And I will say, look, see the food?
Yeah, it's so interesting, Gavin. Congrats on this book. When did this book come out?
I'm just releasing it now. I started writing it when I was in St. Lucia. It took me a week to write the first 80 pages because all the ideas were right there. And I had it in mind. I'm like, I'm going to write this book. And then when I started, I just like, okay, I just flowed all the way. Yeah. And then it took me another four weeks to complete it.
All right, so tell us where you're going to be Friday.
So Friday evening, I'm from 6:30 p.m. I'm going to be at Spices of India in Maho. It's the Indian restaurant in Maho. Beautiful place. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be signing books. I'm going to have books for sale. You can ask me questions. We interact. On Saturday, I'm going to be at Pineapple Pete at 6:30. I'm going to have the books there. I'm going to have the books signing for sale. And again, we can interact, have a conversation, male or females. Because in this book, I'm telling females what to expect from males. Men are supposed to lead, provide, protect. Yeah. Men are supposed to be lamb, and he has to be the big bad lion, which is the king of the jungle. This is ordained by God. Men are responsible. So I'm telling females, this is what you got to look for in your guy. So if the guys are not up to par with what I'm telling females and my daughter to look for, they're going to be below average, and she's not going to be interested in you. You can't just come with your flash and, you know. I'm telling the females about the content to look for in a guy, right? And so guys need to come get this book so they know what is expected of them,
so
especially for those who are below average. Exactly.
Kevin, thanks for joining us, man. Keep up the good work. This is your third book.
This is my third book, and I'm working on my fourth book, which I'm gonna have it out for Christmas, God spare. And that one is another fiction book, and it's a Florida-based book. It's based in Central Florida, and for now the name is The Salesman, and it's about two young guys who grew up 60 miles apart from each other, and they meet 4 times, and the 4th time they meet, it's in the middle of a bank robbery gone wrong.
You're
talking and with all resentment and animosities and everything that's going on, it's an explosion. And so that book is a fast-paced action thriller, and that's going to be out in December, so look out for it.
What's the last word, Gavin?
The last one is dating advice to my daughter. Get the book. It's available at the Video Block in French Quarter, Adolphus Richardson in Phillipsburg, Family Bookstore in Phillipsburg, Anya Bookstore in Cul-de-Sac, Van Dorp in Simpson Bay, and 80 Road. And it's timeless wisdom on navigating modern relationships. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, brother. It's 10 o'clock on SOS Radio 95 years.
Commonwealth Fishing Club is having their boat cruise on board the Explorer, November 9, 2024. Boarding time is 7 p.m. Board departs at 7:30 p.m.